Hi, Pastor Joe, Bethel United Methodist Church. I wanted to talk to you today about the word solitude. I wonder what images does that bring up for you? If you're an extrovert like myself with an introvert heart, no, it doesn't make much sense to me either. Depending on where you are and what season you're in, solitude can be a welcome change, full of peace and tranquility, or it could be just a moment where you are just alone, exiled, isolated, whatever the case may be. The word solitude has never given me warm fuzzies, ever. Not until after I began to strengthen my walk in faith. When I was younger, the thought of being alone by myself in my own head was terrifying. The thought of being alone physically was terrifying because I was used to having people around me. I wasn't used to being alone. I needed people. So here I was in my 30s and I began to walk in faith. And it was amazing because if you've ever been to a Methodist church, you'll know we like to eat. We especially like to get our grub on together and share fellowship while we break bread and have a meal. So it was wonderful. It fed my soul. And then I started to realize something was missing, that I just felt like I couldn't hear God's voice all the time. And that's when I was reminded that sometimes we have to be in solitude to commune with our Lord. We have to be in solitude to recharge and to rest, to hear Him speak, whatever the case may be. But the key is that we have to be in solitude. You know, in Psalms 46:10, He tells us to be still and know that I am God. And sometimes I swear, there are times whenever I'm bouncing around from one school event for my kids to the other, or a sporting event or work or something, that I can almost hear God telling me, be still, like an angry parent. Much like I've had to tell my kids in a pew before, be still, and give them the parent look. I know we've all seen that and done that. But yet, we're reminded that even Christ needed solitude. In Mark chapter 1:35, what does He do? He sneaks off while everyone else is asleep, while it's still dark, and goes to pray. He goes to worship and pray by Himself, just for a few minutes. The rabbi who loved parties, who loved people, who is always surrounded by a crowd, and at the very least 12 disciples. He needed to recharge in His Father's presence. He needed to go and quiet his environment and the voices just so he could hear his Father speak to him. You know, I think of before Christ was to be crucified, what He did. And what He did was He left the group while in the garden and went and found comfort with His Father. He spoke to Him. He wagered with Him. He cried. He was angry. He did all of those things. And He was able to hear God's words to him. And those are the things that I'm reminded of when we now, thanks to our current circumstances, are forced into moments of solitude. Thanks to YouTube, thanks to FaceTime, thanks to Zoom, and all those other clever software, we're not entirely alone. But I hope you'll take this opportunity to build on your relationship with Christ, to sit in solitude with Him and strengthen and recharge and rest if that's what you need. I hope you've enjoyed this because I was nervous as all heck. And I hope you'll join me tomorrow for another quick devotional. Thanks. Bye.